السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. طلبة المرحلة الثانية الأعزاء, welcome again to English lesson. This is unit 6. Tell me what's it like, what like, comparative and superlative, synonyms and antonyms, directions. The theme of this unit is describing people and places. This provides a useful context to practice the grammar of the unit. What like and comparative and superlatives. The listening and speaking section describes life in Sweden and compares it to Britain. The reading section contains text about the meanest and the most generous millionaires in the world. Indeed, what like? This question asks for descriptions, and this question causes difficulties for you students, and you may encounter problems with respect to use like, whereas like is used as a preposition in what like, but you may have experience of it as a verb, as in I like dancing. And the answer to the question what like doesn't contain like with the adjective. For example, what Paris look like? The answer would be it is beautiful city and it has its famous tower. And you may commit mistakes with respect to using what's John like. For example, what's John like? He is like nice. No, you have to say he is nice, tall and something. So what like is used to give a description, which means that give me more information about the thing or the person because I don't know him. Okay, you may find what like a strange construction to ask for a description, and in many languages the question word how is used to do the same thing with respect to what like. For example, in English, however, for example, how is John is an inquiry about his health, but in another language this would be used for description. And what like is used to description, not to ask about the health of something or someone. So how is John is an inquiry about his health, not about his character or his looks. The answer is he is very well for the question how is John. And indeed comparative and superlatives are used to show the degrees of comparison between things. So comparative ER and EST is used to ER is used to comparative is used to compare make comparison between two things or two persons, but superlatives is used to show the superiority of thing or person among others more than two persons or two things. For example, he is better than or clever, he is taller than Ali. He is the tallest one among his colleagues or among the students. Okay, so we use ER, EST with short adjectives, and we use more or most with longer adjectives. Short adjectives that contain one syllable يعني حرف علة واحد حرف صحيح. Long adjectives اللي تحتوي على أكثر من syllable أكثر من حرف علة واحد فمثل beauty more beautiful most beautiful. Okay. There is common mistakes. For example, she is more big than me. It is wrong. You have to say she is bigger than me. He is the most rich man in the world. The correct is he is the richer man in the world or the richest man in the world and so on. In this in vocabulary section, adjectives are practiced in the vocabulary section where you are asked to explore the use of synonyms المرادفات والantonyms الأضداد أو المعاكسات. Now let's start with the starter. What is the capital city of your country? It is Baghdad. What is the population? It's so and so. Is it an old or modern city? It is an old city. Write down two things that you like about your capital and two things that you don't like. Till the class. So here, as if the writer of this book telling you or ask you to give a description of your capital city of your country. So word travel, what is like? The question here is about the giving of description of something or someone. For example, what do you know about Melbourne, Dubai, and Paris? Where are they? So what's Melbourne or Dubai or Paris look like? Here the question is about the description. Now let's move to the grammar spot to show certain rules with respect to this unit. Now unit 6, what like. The form of what like is what, to be, what is or what are, verb to be plus subject plus like plus question mark. So what's your teacher like? What's your teacher like? What are the parents like? What was your holiday like? So here the question is about description. Give me more information about your parents or your holiday or even your teacher. So note that we don't use like in the answer. For example, what's your teacher like? He is very patient. He is very handsome. So what's is she? She is patient, not she is like patient. What's your teacher like? Now the uses. Here we have the form of the formula of what like expression. Now the uses of what like. What like means describe somebody or something. Tell me about them. I don't have more information about them. Please give me more information about somebody or something. I don't know anything about them. Like in this question is a preposition. Put in mind that like in this question is not a verb. It is a preposition. Okay, it's not a verb. What is Jim like? He is intelligent and kind and he's got lovely blue eyes. In the following sentences, like is a verb. Make the comparison between the two sentences. What is Jim like and what does Jim like? So what does Jim like and what is Jim like? Here like is a preposition, but here like is a verb. So he likes motorbikes, and playing tennis. So using this formula means that I am asking about something that I don't know and I need certain information with respect to that somebody or something. So here like is a preposition, not a verb. But in this example, what does Jim like? In this formula, the like is a verb. Not how is your father? Ask about health. It doesn't ask for a description. So how is your father? He is fine. He is healthy. It is not about the description of his appearance or his personality or characteristics. Okay, so it is about the health. So 6.2 comparative and superlative adjectives. Look at the chart. We have comparative and superlatives. We use er to show, we add er to show comparative and est to show superlative or superiority of something or somebody. So with short adjectives we use er and est for superlatives. With adjectives that ends with y, we change y to I and we add ier and iest. The adjectives with two syllables or more, we use more and most for more comparative, most for superlative. Irregular adjectives, for example, far, good, bad, far, farther, farthest for the superlative, good, better, comparative, best, superlative, bad, worse, comparative, and worst, superlative. Short adjectives with one vowel plus one consonant double the consonants. For example, hot, hotter, hottest, fat, fatter, fattest. Than is often used after a comparative adjective. So we use than with comparative adjective. I am younger than Barbara. Barbara is more intelligent than Sarah. Much can come before the comparative to give emphasis. For example, she is much nicer than her sister. Is Tokyo much more modern than London? The is used before superlative adjective. So he is the funniest. So we use the with the superlative, the funniest boy in the class, which is the tallest building in the world. We use this comparative to compare one thing or person or action with another. So we make comparison between two single things, okay, between me and another person, between something and another thing. So she is taller than me. London is more expensive than Rome. We use superlatives to compare somebody or something with the whole group. For example, she is the tallest in the class. She is the smartest in the class. She is the more intelligent, the most intelligent in the class. It is the most expensive hotel in the world. As shows that something is the same or equal. We use as to show equality or sameness between two things. For example, Jim is as tall as Peter. I'm as worried as you are. Not as, so as shows that something isn't the same or equal. For example, she isn't as tall as her mother. My car wasn't too expensive as yours. So here this uses with respect to superlatives and comparatives. Now let's move to the next to practice the rules. Here are asking attitude about Chicago. Complete the question with is or are and the correct word form words from the box. Here we have the restaurants, the people, the bright life, the buildings. Now, what's the weather like? So the question about the weather. Tell me something about or describe me the weather there in Chicago. For example, the answer would be, well, Chicago's called the windy city, and it is really can be windy. Now, what are the people like? Give me more information about the people. They are very interesting. You meet people from all over the world. Number 3, what are the building like? A lot of them are very, very tall, and Sears Tower is 110 story height. Number 4, what are the restaurant like? They are very good. And 5, what's the nightlife like? It's wonderful. There's lots to do in Chicago. And if you listen to the tape script 6.2, you will check your answers. And now we have the biggest comparative and superlatives. Comparatives and superlatives. Now here, read the second part of the conversation with Todd. He compares the places he visited last year. Can you complete any of the sentences? Here we have Melbourne. Melbourne was interesting, but for me Paris was more interesting than Melbourne, and in some ways Dubai was the most interesting of all because it was very so different and from any other place I know. It was also the hottest, driest, and the most modern. It was hot in Melbourne, but not as hot as in Dubai, and Dubai was much hotter. Melbourne is much older than Dubai, but not as old as Paris. Paris was the oldest city I visit, but it was most romantic. It was the oldest city I visited, but it has some great modern building too. It was the most romantic place. I loved it. For a grammar spot, here next page, here we have what are the comparative and superlative forms of the following adjectives. What are the rules? Small, smaller, smallest. Cold, colder, coldest. Near, nearest, nearer, nearest. Busy, busy, busier, busiest. Noisier, noisiest. Drier, driest. Big, bigger, biggest. Hot, hotter, hottest. Wet, wetter, wettest. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Interesting, more interesting, most interesting. Exciting, more exciting, and most exciting. Here we have a regular form: far, farthest, far, farther, farthest. Good, better, best, and bad, worse, worst. The adjective also combined with as. For example, Melbourne isn't as cosmopolitan as Chicago. And now we move to the next section. Match the cities and the photos. Here we have Paris, Beijing, Istanbul, Brasilia. Here Istanbul, Paris, and here we have Brasilia, and here Beijing. Here this section is a class work. It is in a classroom activity, as a classroom activity. Now we move to conversation on page 49. Work with a partner and continue these conversations. The first one is, well, he's better than his old boss, and I think she is the best teacher we have ever had. And well, it's faster than my old car. And you could read all the conversation on listening to tape script 6.6 to check your answer. Now section 6, or correct these sentences, check it. He is older than, these sentences are incorrect, try to correct them. He is older than he looks. Jessica is taller than her mother. And what does Hong Kong what is Hong Kong look like? And the trains in India are more crowded than that in Europe. And Al-Azhar University in Cairo is the oldest university in the world. He isn't as intelligent as his sister. This is more hard. This is harder than I expect. This is harder than I expect. نحذف more من the ER, harder. Number 8. Who is the richest man in the world? Number 9. Number 8 and number 9. Everything is cheaper. Everything is cheaper. We delete more and we add ER. Everything is cheaper in my country. And number 10. Rome was hotter than then we delete that and put than I expected. Now we move to this living in another country with respect to listening and speaking section. Here in this section we have correct or incorrect, true and false sentences. If you listen to the tape script 6.7, you could check your answers and determine whether the sentence is true or false. In winter there is only 1 hour of daylight. It is true. Swedish people, number 2, Swedish people look forward to winter. It's false. They look forward to spring. Number 3, the houses are cold. The houses are well insulted. And the houses are much better insulted than in Britain. It is true. Number 5, in parts of Sweden from May to July the sun never sets. It is true. Number 6, Londoners work longer hours than the Swedes. It's correct. Number 7, Swedes always start work every early in the morning. It is false. In summer, not in morning. Number 8, country cottage in Sweden are usually very luxurious. It's false. It's not very luxurious. It's very primitive. Number 9, all houses have a sauna. It's false. Every house she has a sauna. And if you check your if you listen to tape script 6.7, you would check your answer whether it's correct or incorrect. Now we move to the reading and speaking section. A Tale of Two Millionaires. Here in this section we have 2 characters. two millionaires are compared. The Milton Petrie is the generous man in the world, and Heidi Green is the meanest woman in the world. Those persons or these millionaires are completely opposite to each other, and you have to read these passage in your and it is a homework assignment. Do you prefer to send money or to spend money or to save it? This is a question for you student. You could write or answer this is a question by yourself. Match the verbs and nouns. Many of them are to do with money. Buy, stock and shares. Number 2, buy stocks and shares, and spoil a child. Wear a ragged clothes, open a bank account, live in poverty, inherit a lot of money from someone, make a will, arrest a thief, invest a lot of money in something, emulated a leg. You are going to read about millionaires. One was very mean and the other very generous. First, read quickly about Milton Petrie. Can you remember any examples of his kindness? Yeah, he have many character of kindness, many examples of his kindness. And now read quickly about Heidi Green. Can you remember examples of her meanness? Yes, there's different examples of her meanness. When were Milton and Harry born? These questions should to be answered by you, dear students, as a homework assignment. These are the story of the two millionaires. Now the section of vocabulary and pronunciation. We have synonyms اللي هي مرادفات, والantonyms اللي هي أضداد أو معاكسات. We often use synonyms in conversation because we don't want to repeat words. نستخدم المرادفات لحتى ما نعيد نفس استخدام نفس الكلمات ويصير تكرار ويصير كلام ممل. وكذلك أيضا الانتونيمز المضادات أو المعاكسات أضداد نستخدمها لتجنب تكرار الكلمات. It's a lovely day today. Yes, it is really beautiful. What an awful meal. Yes, it wasn't very nice, was it? You see, here the conversation is used the synonyms and antonyms to avoid repetition. Now, complete the conversation using the adjective of similar meaning from the box. Feed up, generous, brilliant, messy, modern, and wealthy. Now, well, I knew her uncle was very healthy, and yes, Paris is much more modern than I expected. Yes, it was brilliant, and he is, isn't he? He is one of the most generous people I know, and it is it? I told her it was messy yesterday, and she promised to clean it. Number 6, I know I am really fed up with it too. And match the following adjectives with their two opposites in exercise 1. Interested, bored, fed up. Horrible, wonderful, brilliant. Mean, kind, generous. Old, new, modern. Poor, rich, wealthy. Tidy, untidy, messy. Sometimes it was more polite to use not very and opposite adjective. So more polite to use not very. So Tom's so short. Well, it's not very tall. He always wears much. They certainly aren't very clean. Dirty clothes, such dirty clothes, they aren't very clean. So it is more polite to use not very instead of the bad adjective, or for example dirty and short or something. يعني نستخدم شوية عبارات ألطف من العبارات اللي نستخدمها مع مباشرة. Tom is short, you see, is not very tall, always wears such dirty clothes, aren't very clean, you see. Now we move to the everyday English directions. A farm, a wood, a pond, a path, a hill, a river, a bridge, and a gate. Here we have a city, and we have to show the direction of the street to someone. So read the description and add the places to the map. The hotel, opposite to the station car. So the station car here. The hotel is opposite to this the station car park, you see. And the bank is on the corner of the Lower Road and Hill Road. It is next to the bakers. So we use opposite, on the corner, next to, and between, in front of, near, opposite, behind. So all of these expressions we use to in everyday English to show direction to people, you see. So where's the library? It is on the corner of Station Road and Green Street, opposite to the flower shop. So complete number 4. Complete the directions from Cheswood Farm to the school with the preposition in the box. Look at the map to help you. Up, down, over, past, through, out of, across. You go down the path, past the pond, over the bridge, and out of the gate. Then you go across the road and take the path through the wood. When you come out of the wood, you walk up the path and go into the road. It takes 5 minutes. So if you listen to tape script 6.10, you can check your answer. So after finishing unit 6, thank you for your listening, and next lecture would be unit 7, fame, present perfect, for since, adverbs, word, Paris, short answers. Thank you, dear student. Thank you all.